When we talk about intelligence in the animal kingdom, we often hear about dolphins, crows, or chimpanzees. But what about the opposite end of the spectrum? Which animal holds the not-so-glorious title of the dumbest? While calling any creature dumb isn't entirely fair, since every species has traits that help it survive, there are a few animals that have earned quite the reputation for their questionable choices and lack of problem-solving skills. In this video, we'll explore some of the animals often labeled as the dumbest, why they get that reputation, and whether or not it's truly deserved. From clumsy birds to bizarre sea creatures, get ready to discover some of the quirkiest brains in nature. The first animal is the turkey. Turkeys are often ranked among the dumbest animals, and for some pretty unusual reasons. One old story claims that domestic turkeys can drown by staring up at the rain, forgetting to move. While scientists debate whether this is an exaggeration, turkeys do have some truly odd behaviors, like following shiny objects or clumping together in dangerous situations without thinking. Despite this, turkeys are not completely brainless, they're just highly nervous and lack critical thinking skills. In the wild, they can still survive thanks to their flocking instinct and ability to forage. But compared to clever birds like parrots or ravens, turkeys definitely don't come across as the brightest feathers in the flock. The second animal is the ostrich. These gigantic, powerful runners are incredible at escaping predators by sheer speed, but their brains are surprisingly small compared to their body size. They've been mocked for the myth that they bury their heads in the sand when scared, though in reality, they simply lower their heads to the ground to blend in. Still, ostriches can act pretty clueless. They're known to run in circles when frightened and sometimes forget they're strong enough to fight back. Instead of using the deadly kicks against predators, they often panic, making them look less intelligent than they actually are. It's not that ostriches are truly dumb, they're just wired more for survival instinct than for clever decision-making. The third animal is the jellyfish. With no brain, no heart, and no bones, jellyfish operate purely on instinct and basic nerve signals. They drift along the ocean currents, pulsing their bodies, and reacting only to touch or light. Compared to intelligent sea creatures like octopuses, jellyfish seem like floating blobs with zero awareness. However, this dumbness is exactly why jellyfish are survivors. They've existed for over 500 million years, long before dinosaurs, and they've managed to thrive without ever needing a brain. So while we might think of them as one of the dumbest animals, their design has made them some of the most successful creatures in Earth's history. The fourth animal is the panda. These adorable animals are adored worldwide for their cuteness, but they're not exactly famous for their brainpower. Despite being classified as carnivores, pandas almost exclusively eat bamboo, a food that's low in nutrients and requires them to munch for up to 14 hours a day. To make matters worse, pandas are not very good at reproducing. In captivity, many have to be coaxed into breeding because they often show little interest on their own. While this might seem like dumb behavior, it's really more about poor evolutionary choices than actual stupidity. Pandas simply evolved to specialize in bamboo, even though it limits their energy and survival options. Still, when you compare pandas to more adaptable animals, it's hard not to wonder if they're making life harder for themselves than it needs to be. The fifth and final animal is the koala. This is another beloved but not so bright animal. Koalas survive almost entirely on eucalyptus leaves, which are toxic to most creatures and extremely low in nutrients. Even stranger, if you place eucalyptus leaves on a plate instead of on a branch, a koala might not recognize them as food. Their brains are small and smooth compared to other mammals, which limits their problem-solving ability. Koalas also have notoriously poor adaptability. They sleep up to 20 hours a day to conserve energy, and when awake, they often struggle with even simple challenges. While they might seem dumb by human standards, koalas are perfectly designed for their slow, leaf-munching lifestyle. Still, it's hard not to laugh at the clumsy, absent-minded behavior. So, what is the dumbest animal? The answer really depends on how you define dumb. Turkeys may lack awareness, ostriches may panic easily, jellyfish literally have no brain, pandas seem to work against their own survival, and koalas are hilariously picky and slow. Yet every one of these animals has managed to survive, some for millions of years, so maybe dumb isn't the right word after all. Perhaps the real takeaway is this: intelligence comes in many forms, and what seems dumb to us might actually be the perfect survival strategy for that species. After all, humans once laughed at sloths for being lazy, but they're actually energy-saving masters. So the next time someone asks you what the dumbest animal is, you might just answer, none of them, they're all smart in their own way.